And I feel like if if you were quite strict about it, and if you were like, well, okay, well, this is my hobby, instead of spending spending money on, I mean, if it was anything like food, not I didn't mean food. I meant like I said, just
Well,
stop everything.
not
Just
eating
don't pay
dinner
for
tonight.
anything.
I need
Who
a
cares about
new
your
alternator.
family? Don't eat dinner. Chew in your car. That'd be a great slogan. That's not what I meant to say at all. I don't know. Maybe that's just what more I'm thinking about at the moment.
Welcome back to the SpewnedIt Podcast.
I meant to say like games or like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Whatever your
Even
side
even if it
hobby
was
is.
just like there's so many things you can like cut down on
Oh,
of
yeah.
just like bills or stuff that you realize you're paying into.
Yep.
Where
Subscription
when you actually cut
services,
that down, you
going to the
realize how much
movies,
money you save.
going out to eat, yeah, all that stuff.
Like and it will add up really quick. Like
It
like
does.
over
It does.
over Lent that we just went through,
Mhm.
like 40 days. So like I mean I quit alcohol for that time. I was just like, I did it last year, went really
Kudos.
well, and my mum was like, yeah, do you want to do this with me? I was like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Why not? I got to the end, and I'm just like, I think during that time, like I bought a pair of shoes, secondhand shoes off. Have you heard of Depop and Vinted? Are they like?
I imagine,
Are
are
they
they
in the
similar
US?
to like people in your area selling stuff that are like lightly used or whatever kind of thing? I think we have
Literally
like
exactly
next
like that. So I
door
got this
and
pair of
offer
shoes.
up.
They've been
Yeah,
they've
similar.
been worn like once or twice,
Yeah.
right? And then bought them, and they were like about 50% because the person was like, look, I can't sell these for full price, but because they're secondhand. And so bought that, and I didn't have to worry about it.
Nice.
And so that was really, I think that's where this kind of thought is, process has come from, where it's like, you can really cut things back in life,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it towards like a bigger project, something you can actually see, and not just like, consumable stuff, which is so easy to just buy things nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So easy.
I think my
Oh man, I'm excited for that. We need to make that happen. That little project. I'm really excited for that.
yeah, definitely. I think my like mental game I play with myself whenever I do actually want to buy something like a game or a new, I think probably I would say my hobby is like electronics. Like I'll just buy like a little new thing that I don't need it, but it's cool, and it can optimize something or make something a little bit sound a little better or look a little better. Um, I'll just be like in my brain, in order to justify the purchase, I'll be like, well, I never go to Starbucks. I don't buy a daily coffee. So that's like $8 a day. And that's like $300 a month. So I basically have like $300 of spending money, which isn't true because, of course, I spend it in other
Nice.
things. But if I want to, the mental gymnastics are very, very easy to get to
Yes, yeah.
do
It's
whatever
it's
you
not
want.
it's not exactly something to dance around.
Yeah. Before I
It's
forget,
just interesting though, because like okay, no, sorry, go on.
I should have done this at the beginning, and I might make a little short about it, but I promised a bunch of my students that if I ever recorded a podcast episode again, that I would give them a shout out. So let me try and remember a couple names. Jack, Molly, Josephine, Sophia. Who else listens? Um, if I didn't say your name and you see me at school, let me know, and I'll get you on the next one. But they were like our fans last year. Then they all discovered our podcast. Excuse me. When they all discovered it, we bumped a little bit in subscribers, and a few of them have been asking me like, "Hey, when are you gonna start doing the podcast again?" So that's been an encouragement to get this ball rolling again, because I have every once in a while somebody
Love
will
that, yeah,
bring
for
it up
sure,
to me, which is quite funny, like to
for sure.
hear about it in real life, because nobody else in the world knows anything about it. But anyway, just want to get that off my chest. Shout out you guys at North.
Nice.
Love you.
Yeah,
Fantastic. All right, carry on.
yeah. Shout out to Mr. Anderson's class. Yeah, love you guys.
Yeah.
Big time. When we do a tour and I come to visit, we're like,
Oh yeah. Some book signings.
we'll do a signing. We'll do a signing afternoon. Like signing like foreheads and stuff, and it'll be great.
Yeah. For sure.
What was I? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so we were talking. Yeah, I feel like nowadays I can only really buy something when it's on sale.
Oh yeah.
Like I
Definitely.
really struggle if it's like full price. I'm like, well, why would I do that?
Nope.
Unless it's like pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
But it like literally everything, even if it's like something that's only originally like 10-15 pounds, if right next to it is something that's similar, maybe not quite as nice, but on sale, I'm gonna buy the thing that's on sale, and
Yep.
that is just like I don't even I don't even have to think about it. And it's the same with like with clothes. Like I can't even remember the last time I bought. Oh, actually, no, I can. I bought like some socks, and I'll only get like socks and boxes that are full. Like I'm not gonna buy those at a charity shop. I'm not disgusting. But like shirts, trousers, shoes, everything else. Like we've got some great charity shops around the corner from my house, and like or thrift stores, I guess you'd call them.
Yeah.
But and they're so much easier because you find stuff and you're like, this would usually be like a stupid amount of money.
Yeah.
Like I got I've gotten all sorts of stuff. Like I've got Lacoste t-shirts and like Polo Ralph Lauren shirts as well. I've got like suit trousers and loads of stuff, but like sort of like £5, like $10, and it's just I'm like, why would I not? Because I don't think I feel like and because of that, and I feel like I've been doing this for ages, and part of it is just the way that like I don't know. I guess I grew up because like I like these things, but I'm not going to spend like tons of money on because that whole idea of just something that's brand new, it just doesn't appeal to me. Because also, if you're doing it for other people to notice, no one cares. No one really cares. Like if they see it for the first time, it's like, oh, that's really cool. But no one's going to be like, whoa, that's the first time that's ever been worn by a human being, unless you wear a sign or a shirt that actually says that.
Leave the
no
tag
one
on.
cares.
Yeah.
No one is bothered. So it's like, why would you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just the whole thing with like fast fashion. Like it's just dangerous, man. It's dangerous to people, and people you can get drawn into it very quickly. And I think there was a period of time when I first started working after getting out of school, and I was like sucked in so easily, like it was ridiculous. Or like look, I'd say like I don't even know what percentage I'd say. Maybe like 85% of my money was just going straight into that. Like terrible, really bad.
Yeah.
And I remember my auntie. So the family friends I was staying with, they were kind of like an auntie and uncle. They're not actually, but that's like you know.
I gotcha.
So my auntie Rach, she was like, Joel, you need to grow up. This is ridiculous. Okay, you need to stop. You're being stupid.
What about tough love?
Okay, and it worked. In fairness to her, it was like that was exactly what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it again, and I haven't done it since. So shout out to Auntie Rach for helping me with that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
because it was just I don't know, it's just not the one. But it was a good, I don't know, it was a good lesson to learn.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I feel like that was one thing that we didn't do when I came to visit. We didn't go to a thrift store, like a thrift shop, because like when I say charity shops, like is that as much of a thing, or is it more thrift shops or thrift stores?
When you're saying charity, are you talking about like a store where people will donate their things and then the store sells them?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So we'd probably call that a charity, or like a Goodwill is probably the most common one. I think it's actually a brand, but we'll call it like a Goodwill store. And yeah, all that is people take their used stuff or stuff that's lying around, donate it. I think you can write it off for taxes as charity because it's the donation.
Yeah.
Like the rough estimate value. I've never donated enough for it to matter, but I think my parents have. Like when we moved, for example, we gave a whole bunch of stuff, like just old furniture, lamps, books, just because they take it and they repurpose it, organize it, sell it off. And I think the idea is that the money goes to charity, although not all of them are run exactly like that. And one of them, there's one, I'm trying to remember which. There's one of them that's kind of a scam because they like barely pay their workers, and the money's like it's basically all profit because they don't manufacture anything. All they do is have a building, people give them stuff for free, and then they sell it and make money.
And then they sell it straight
but
profit.
they don't trade their workers very well. I can't remember which one that is, so I'm not going to name any names. But yeah, no, do you call it a charity shop across the pond?
So we call them charity shops, and they're all over the place. They're so good, and they're somewhere like they're they're a bit more high end and they're a lot more high class, but like so often you can just find absolute gems in there. You may have spotted, I don't know if you can, so the avocado bag down there.
Nice.
So that's like a bunch. So I did a bit of a clear out the other day, and that's stuff that I need to take to a charity shop. So that's on the old to-do list. Man, like I just love them. I love them so much because I don't feel bad. I feel like actually I'm giving towards something.
Sure.
And what I have found, by the way, if you are in the UK, if you're ever in the UK, a great place to start with charity shops is the Cancer Research UK ones. I don't know what it is about them, but whoa,
That's
okay,
where the
those
good
places
stuff
are
goes.
strong. I've gotten some really good stuff there. So if
Nice.
you need somewhere to start, go there. And
Cancer Research
if you walk in
UK.
and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a friend of Joel's," they'll probably be like, "Oh,
I'll be
that's
like,
why you're
oh,
here."
we'll
Like
knock another
I
10%
go to
off.
those all the time,
Yeah.
as a regular. But yeah, so I mean, I love them. I love them. Because I just feel like they're actually, they're actually doing something. And I think and I think it's good and it's encouraging people to just, be okay with that kind of thing.
Yep. I think it's.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love charity shops. Love
yeah.
them.
No. The To wrap up, I think what you said about not falling into the trap of being like, oh, I gotta wear the newest thing, or it's gotta be da da. And I'm not probably one to speak. I'm not a very fashionable guy. I think you are. I think so. It's good to hear you say that
Thanks,
you can
man.
keep up your styling while also being thrifty about it. But I think what I see in like schools and stuff a lot, and not all the time, but a lot of kids are very concerned, especially with shoes. Shoes are like the biggest one because you spend like $300 on shoes and then you like can barely wear them. Like I remember when I was teaching PE, kids would like wear their new Jordans, right, to school and then not want to run because they were too afraid of creasing their shoes. And I'm like, why are you wearing
Yeah.
these? It's a PE class, like you're wearing athletic shoes. And I that's fine if you don't want to ruin them and like decrease the value by using them for their intended purpose. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you wearing it in a PE class anyway? So,
Yeah.
oh well. Silly stuff, but everybody's got their hobbies, I suppose. Some people it's cars, other people it's looking dapper, spending the big bucks. Speaking of Jordans, I
Yeah,
actually went and saw
exactly.
the Air Jordan movie last night with Matt Damon and Ben
Yeah, I've been
Affleck.
meaning to see that. Is it good?
I think it is. Um, I don't know.
It's not actually much about Jordan. It's not much
No,
about Michael Jordan, is
it's
it? Like,
about trying
it's
to
more
sign
about like
him
the more.
to Nike. That's the whole thing. Is just trying to get him to Nike, and so they're trying to like figure out. They're trying to save their basketball shoes division, which basically didn't exist up to that point.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't signed any big guys. What's funny about it though is throughout the whole movie they're talking about like the market share and stuff like that. And Adidas at the time in 1984 is the big company. Like they have like
Mm.
47% market share of basketball shoes, and Nike is like the track company.
Yeah, they're
They
huge.
sell track shoes and running stuff. And then Converse is the other one, and they have like 27% because it was like Converse All
Mm.
Stars, which Larry Bird wore and Magic Johnson, I guess, and stuff like that. And so when Jordan comes around, their whole plan is we were just gonna do Jordan, and we're not gonna like our whole entire budget is going to Jordan. He's our main focus. We're designing a shoe for him, not for like the Nike basketball player. It's for Jordan. It's got his name on it, yada yada. So it was an interesting movie. I think my dad appreciated it a little bit more because he, was in college in that era, or maybe I think that's true. Maybe just out of. And so for him, it was like, oh yeah. When I walked into a 7-Eleven, they had all those things on the counter. It looked like that. Sports Illustrated was in the front. I recognized that snack. The way the phones worked, the pagers, everything was very familiar for him. So I think
Yeah.
that was kind of a fun
Okay,
romp. So I think
that is fun.
definitely if you're a basketball fan and you're over the age of 40, I think it will mean more to you. I think it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was as funny as maybe it thought it was, and part of that's probably just because I'm not old enough to like really know. I mean, I know the references because I've seen a movie or two,
Yeah.
but I don't like know. I didn't live it, so it didn't have as big of an impact. But anyway, in another
You know
episode,
what?
I'll
I
need to
found out
talk
the other
about
day actually
movie passing.
about
We'll
those
get there.
two.
Hmm.
What's Matt Damon and
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, when they wrote their first script for Good
Good
Will
Will
Hunting.
Hunting.
I found this out the other day.
Hmm.
So you may know this actually. I feel like your knowledge is pretty good with just this kind of thing, just general knowledge. You're quite good at. They put so the two professors in the film,
Mhm.
obviously one played by
Robin
Robin
Williams.
Williams, and the other, I can't remember who the other was played by. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the two professors in the film. So when they wrote the script, they put I don't know how to word this. They put quite a steamy scene, should I say, very steamy between the two professors even though even just to make sure
They
that
read the script.
the readers were actually paying attention. So
Yeah.
they'd get to that point and be like, "Boys, what on earth have you done here?" And then they'll be like, "Ha, got you. Just wanted to make sure you were paying attention."
Yeah.
But I was like, "What? I mean, who on earth
That's
has
funny.
that idea?" Because on one end,
That's confidence.
it's like
That's
fair
confidence.
enough. Like it's actually quite clever.
Yeah.
It's like it's it is making sure that people are I don't know, they're paying attention.
toes,
But yeah, a debate. Well, maybe not a debatable way to do it. I don't. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have had the idea because I think, like we said before, we kind of see the best in people. We just assume that everyone's, as lovely as we are.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Uh-huh.
Let's back ourselves a bit. But I read that, I was like, okay, well, so you what? You learn something new every day. I did not know that.
Also, did not know that.
beforehand.
So that's a new fact for me as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't feel like it was a big thing, but if you need like a little, I don't know, bit of like movie trivia to
Conversation
like
starter.
challenge people with.
Next time I'm test driving a car
Exactly.
and not listening to the engine out the
Yeah.
window, I'll be like, "Hey, did you know when they were making Goodwill Hunting? Like, what are you talking about, man? Just drive the car."
I don't even know. Like, what are you meant to say in one of those situations? Like, I don't know what to say. I can't even remember what we spoke about.
I always feel
when I
like
was in the
pressure
car, but
to
it was a
start
big time.
the conversation if it's not going already. But then I'm like, the longer it goes, the weirder it gets because you've been sitting in silence for 5 minutes. So then I'm thinking, well, they think that I just don't want to talk, right? But then I'm thinking like, it's weird that nobody's talking. I should say something. But it feels weirder the longer you don't say something because it just like expands the amount of like, I don't know. It's so uncomfortable. I don't like it. I guess
I don't know why is it that silences are so awkward?
I
Why,
think-
as humans, this is a huge question. Why do we find that awkward?
I mean, I think in the right, I mean, mostly for me, it's if I don't know the person. Like friends that I've known for a long
Yeah.
time, almost my favorite type of friends are the ones where you can be just sitting in silence, doing your own thing, hanging out, and it's fine. And there's no pressure to, keep the conversation going or like entertain each other. Though that is amazing and that happens naturally if we're good friends, it's going to happen because that's a must is a sense of humor. But I think for a stranger, for me, is what it really feels weird. And I think it's a good question you raise is what is the weirdness? Where does it come from? I'm trying to think, I don't know.
I definitely agree with you because with some people, I think you don't feel comfortable enough to sit there in silence, right? And often it is with the best mates or with the people that you're close with, your family. You can just kind of sit there and, you don't need to be, like flipping staring at each other, but like you can kind of just sit there and do your own thing and be in silence, and it's fine. Like I remember, I mean, we used to do that all the time, when we were gaming, especially. Like we'd hardly say anything, but like we were bonding like during that time. I remember my mum saying, "It's like, yeah, but you never speak to Jensen." I was like, "I don't need to." We're playing a game. We're focused. We're in it.
Yeah.
We're connected, exactly. So and that was easy for me. But I think what it comes down to is that it's quite a I don't know. I feel like it's quite a comfortable thing to be able to do. It shows you're comfortable when you can actually just kind of just sit there and just breathe and not, like you said, not feel that pressure. And I think a lot of it comes from actually just being comfortable in your own skin and being comfortable in that moment to just be like, I don't need to say anything. Like I'm just, I'm relaxed. I'm good. Whereas like, I think, in fairness, I don't think it's something that you need to be able to do all the time because sometimes what you need to do is chat to the person to be able to get to know them better or to sort out a situation. But sometimes it's good to just be able to be like, actually, it's fine. We're just going to sit here and I'm going to listen to the car to see if there's any dodgy noises and tell the person to shut up if they need to. We did have, I mean, to be fair, there were little moments of that, so I feel like it wasn't too much. And as well, because I didn't know where I was going, and he was like giving me directions.
There you go.
I could kind of like a small little way to get back into the conversation. I'd be like,
Hey,
where are we
are
taking
we?
a left here? And then
Why are we in this back alley?
Where are you
Is that
taking
gun?
me?
What have
Why
you
are
got
we
in
in
your
the
back-
desert now? Why do you have a
Where's my
shovel
family?
in your
Where
hand?
did my phone go? I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. Am I falling asleep? I think it's getting dark for you too.
Great conversation. Yeah, terrible.
Got some knowledge bombs going on here in the back half of the opening of season 4. If you made it to the
Yeah.
I've got 47 minutes on my recording, but if you're here, hey, good to have you and welcome back. I feel like we do need to put a little bow on it, and clearly we talked at the beginning. One last thing, we were like, what should we like talk about? Should we plan anything? And I think if you know us, you know that it looks a lot different when we do plan something because we try to keep to a tight schedule. And I think with season 4, we talked about we kind of want to open it up a little bit more, partially because of we're both so busy and we wanted to not put the burden of planning and basically make it as easy for ourselves to sit down and record a podcast without the pressure of like, oh man, I haven't got a great story this time around. And I quite enjoy the early episodes where we do just have a chat and it's very free form, and it's just, I think our kind of personality and natural chemistry comes out a little bit more in those types of episodes. I do also enjoy the ones where we kind of scripted it out a little more and planned things and keep it a little more concise. I think there's a charm to those as well. But I think for me, some of my favorite episodes are some of our very early ones where we're just kind of getting our feet and finding our voice together and just having a chat. So it's fun to be able to get back to that. And I think that's what the direction we're leaning towards for season 4. So if you enjoy that, welcome for the ride. We're happy to have you. And if not, that's okay too. And there's always seasons 2 and 3 to look at. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy as a clam to be back in the studio, as it were, with my boy Joel.
Oh man,
and,
yeah, I love that.
Looking at
staring
at my phone.
Just the SpewnedIt boys. Just being back, and and I think that's what it's about. It's about having that space that we just want to be able to create this space that you can just kind of laugh with us and just just be involved with the conversation. Just be like, wait a minute, I know exactly how those guys feel, or I have no idea, and you can just find out more about us here. But that's we're kind of going back to our back to our roots kind of, and I think that's where the direction that we're kind of heading into with season 4, and we're not wanting to hold the reins on it too tightly. We're just kind of wanting to let it have a bit more of a free flowing nature to it. And I think part of that is just with growth, and we've had like Jensen said, we've had a great time being a bit more structured and having a bit more of a plan to what we're doing, and I think that really helped us both to learn more about that. We really put a lot of thought process into that, and it was so fun to have that as a project. But as we started off before, it's times have changed, that there are new things happening. But it's great to have you along for the ride, and we hope that you will join us for the next SpewnedIt podcast, which will be back very, very soon. So definitely subscribe. We're here for a good time, and we hope you guys are. But from Jensen and myself, God bless, and we'll catch you very, very soon.
We are good.
Come on. Okay, I'm stopping the recording now.